what should we expect on Closer Look Thursday? It's coming up right after I guess it's right after the VP debate, so that'll be heavy on that.
I mean, Rich, look, if you'd asked me on yesterday morning what can we expect tomorrow, I would have been wrong.
It is insane. You're right.
One of the things I keep saying is there's been a weird, you look for silver linings in bad situations, I do feel as though I've gotten my weekend back in a way that I don't really have to pay attention to. I mean, this weekend was obviously an exception because of the magnitude of it, but more often than not, what's news Saturday is not worth having on TV on Monday because it's so far in the rear view. So you have to, it's a little bit, I did come from a background as being an improviser, and part of being an improviser is you live in the moment because it's not about planning ahead of time. It's about being in a position to react quickly. But, the reality is we're doing a live show on Thursday, and we'll see. Obviously we'll go into it thinking it'll be about the VP debate, but I find it hard to believe that something won't happen over the course of Thursday that will bump that.
Of course. You never know. What'd you think of Jim Carrey's Joe Biden? What'd you think of that?
I thought it was really good. I think it is a tricky impression. In my era, I thought Sudeikis did an incredible job. For somebody to line up with Alec Baldwin, I think Jim Carrey obviously is that same sort of pedigree, and it was really fun to watch.
Okay, walk me through a couple minutes we have left here. Seth Meyers joining me here on the Rich Eisen Show. Walk me through what happens in the halls of SNL and the writing room when a debate like the one that we saw between Trump and Biden happens. What happens? Does a siren go off, or an actual literal siren go off?
There is a sirens going off ahead of time, and I will say that when I was there, in the last round of debates, presidential debates, I worked on the show was 12.
Okay.
Everybody sits around. You sort of group write the debates in that. Anybody can sort of send in a joke or whatnot. Because of the structure of a debate sketches, it's a lot of Q&A, so anyone can have a small thread of an idea that if you're the person in charge of sort of putting it all together, you try to keep your ears open because that tends to get the most out of a situation like that. I mean, this was a tough one because it did look like there had been a debate we all missed, and we were watching the SNL version of it.
Right.
So I did not, I texted Jost and Shay, even before this weekend's news happened that, again, skewed what the perspective on everything was. But I oftentimes long for my days at SNL and something happens and I think, oh, I wish I worked there. I did not feel that after watching that debate.
That is funny and sad, all wrapped in one soundbite right there, yeah. Seth. I'll be honest with you, because again, I imagine though some of the things that you're doing on your show, although it is not meant as satire, it is meant as comedy. It's not far off, from everything that's going on in the crazy ass world. Obviously, you're having more commentary of serious nature, but I mean,
it's still, we always, as people will say, do you really think you're changing anyone's mind? And if there's any mind we hope to change, it's people who are on the fence about whether or not they're going to vote, right? I think I'd like to hopefully make you realize there is, a pretty large weight to the idea of voting. Now, I also hope we provide some catharsis to people, because again, I don't think we should be anyone's first news source. But I think if you watch the news all day, it might not be the wrong thing to do to watch a comedy take on it right before going to bed. If we can do that, because again, when you're on at 12:35, all you're trying to provide people is a good night's sleep.
Right. Yeah, you're speaking as somebody who did a 2 a.m. Sports Center for 7 years, so know I totally know it.
Look, I caught a few of those.
Which I'm pleased about. Hey, you watched all the way to the end. Thanks for that. Watch more right here.